We got two good interviews here with Marjorie Taylor Greene. So let's get into some of these interview videos here with Kim Iverson and An0maly.
You've got the elected Democrats, you have the elected Republicans, and no matter which party is in charge, whether it's Democrats or Republicans, they have to serve the major industries and the major donors that prop up the campaigns and keep these people elected. I know that is so hard to accept. It took me a long time to accept it and realize it, but that is the unfortunate and horrible reality that exists.
Right. So you got the Democrats, you got the Republicans. They don't want to serve you.
And so the American people are gaslit day in and day out. And it happens through the media, it happens through the messaging, it happens through social media, happens through paid social media influencers. And that's a whole nother topic. But the American people are gaslit. And it's like a team sport. So it's like your team Democrat or your team Republican, and you are driven by fear of what one party may do or the other party may do, one leader may do versus what the other leader may do, and how it will completely destroy your life. And so you're constantly gaslit and you live in outrage and fear and anger. And that's what drives people to donate money, drives people to volunteer on campaigns, drives people to vote. And that is how the political industrial complex works.
So she's explaining there that's how the politics works. They want what's going on now. Everybody just doesn't like you. You're either left or you're right. I mean, think about that. Is that kind of crazy? There's people that believe that go with every single thing on the left, and then there's people that go with every single thing on the right. Like, how could that be? How is that possible? I mean, my next video after this is going to explain about that. And we're going to clip over to An0maly's interview with her. Okay, we go back and forth. Kim Iverson and An0maly had two good interviews with her. Here's An0maly talking about where she's talking about you elect your congressperson, right? Think about this. You elect your congressperson. Do you ever see them? Okay, whatever district you're in, the 9th district or whatever, 14th district of your state. Do you ever see these people? I mean, they're there to represent you to Congress, okay? And you never see them. So that's it. They just use you to get elected. And here she's explaining that.
So when you elect your member of Congress, they spend the bulk of their year in Washington, D.C., and they're not at home with you, driving around the district, deeply aware of the problems of the district. They're in Washington, D.C., and the main people that they are talking to, eating lunch with, eating dinner with, going to cocktail parties with, and beyond are establishment Washington uniparty lobbyists, big industries, and very focused Washington, D.C. issues, which do not link to what's happening at home. So I can't impress on people watching this enough that you are not represented in Washington, D.C. because pretty much you're forgotten about.
There you have it. And what do you think? You're not forgotten about? You really think these people they're preach to you what you should do? They don't care about you. Going back to Kim Iverson's interview now. I'm going back and forth where she's kind of talking about the same things here, but a little more detailed. In this one with Kim Iverson, she's talking about the national debt. Our big problem, we have national debt. Well, why? And also all the tax money, where it goes, right? Why doesn't it stay in our country to help us out? Okay. I think this is the one where she's talking about that.
It's not going to do anything about the national debt. They don't care about the national debt. We have a balanced budget amendment that every single year gets reintroduced into Congress. We all co-sponsor it. But no matter who the speaker is, Republican or Democrat, they never bring it to the floor for a vote. Same thing, we have a term limits bill. A whole bunch of us co-sponsor it, and every single Congress, they never bring the term limits bill to the floor for a vote because they don't mean it. They literally don't mean it. If term limits were in place, a bunch of these people would get term limited, and then they'd have to leave Washington and they wouldn't have a job. You want to know why? Because they couldn't make it on their own 2 feet in the real world. They are not qualified and competent enough to actually run a successful business or go work an ordinary job like most Americans do. They're just not. They're not competent enough people, but yet they're running our country.
All right. Yeah. These people are running our country, right? And she's saying like term limits. Like they actually, there's some of them, there's 430 something congressmen and women. 430 something. All right. That's a lot. Now, if they have term limits after the term's over, maybe they'd go in there and do something that you're supposed to for your constituents, right? For the people that vote for you in your district. But they're not, because they could stay in there for life. So they're only going to go and do with the people that are giving them a lot of money and keeping them reelected for their entire career. Okay. Going to hop over back to An0maly here. This is where she talks about, like, remember the last one, she said, oh, they don't care about our national debt. Well, and not just the national debt, our money, where's it going? And here she explains about what they did with our money, and just so they can get reelected.
I was against all foreign aid. It wasn't that I was totally against Israel. I was against funding all the foreign countries. I just don't think we should give them our hard-earned tax dollars. I think everybody's tax dollars should stay here in America and fix our problems. Health insurance, for the love of God, costs too much money. Why can't we fix that? Any problem that we have, our tax dollars should fix our problems. And I had introduced amendment after amendment every time the NDAA funding came up, defunding. My amendment would defund the money to go to Israel, but I also included Egypt. I included all kinds of countries. And that also caught the attention of the powers that be, maybe the powers that are really in control. And they did not like it.
All right. So who would disagree with that, right? Not us, not the people that the regular citizens in this country, but we're giving all our money away to people for some reason. And here she's saying, like, we want to defund, forget it. No more sending money to over these other countries. You just heard her say that, right? We have all these issues here, health insurance, everything, so much money. We have the money. We send billions every year to these other countries for what? And here she says, when we try to do it, the other politicians voted down.
But it's that way for most members of Congress. Literally, I tell you, when I tell you only 6 people voted for an amendment to defund American tax dollars from Israel, only 6 members of Congress out of 435. The problem is big. And here's the thing: it's like, we don't hate Israel. We don't hate Jewish people. I don't dislike anybody. But I'm unapologetically for America, and I'm unapologetically for Americans and for the future of our country. And that includes Jewish Americans. That's for every single American. And I just got to the point where I really don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, all right. So I don't know if everyone knows this. She did 5 years. So she got her 4 year. She did 4 years, and her 5th year she resigned. She couldn't take it anymore. She didn't take money from these lobbyists and stuff like that, and they were just ousting her. Like in the beginning, when I showed you all the stuff they said about her, just boom. If she said we shouldn't give money to Israel, they'd be like, "Oh, you're anti-Semitic." Or if she said, "I'm not giving money to Egypt," they'd be like, "Oh, you're Islamophobe." Like, they attack her. And guess what? People out there listen. People out in the streets listen to this, and they hate her, and they believe this. Stop. You can't believe these people. She just said that the biggest thing they do is get on the media and just do whatever they can to get in your mind and think like, we get this lady's bad. She's these are the people you want. I mean, 435 is a lot, man. But so I don't know how much you can get, but that's why she's out now. She couldn't handle it.
But AOC, I'll give you one on her. I had an amendment earlier in 2025, and my amendment was to completely defund Israel. And not only I had Israel amended, I had Egypt, I had a bunch of countries. But when it came down to Israel, she refused to vote for my amendment to defund Israel. And so I'm telling you right now, she talks a big game, but her main mission right now is she has fallen in line with the Democrat establishment.
All right, so there, Kim Iverson was just asking her about AOC, but they all do it. Republicans, Democrats, they lie to you. So AOC, you all know she's out in the open, out there talking about Israel. We got to help Palestine, but then here it is. Marjorie Taylor Greene and a few other congressmen put a bill up to let's defund them. Let's not fund anybody but our country. And the one person who tells you out there, out everybody in the media about this stuff, but when it comes down to voting, she's like, no, we got to keep funding them. Okay, why? Because somebody's giving her money to keep her in there. Okay, and she's doing what she has to do. So they talk, but they don't. It's nothing. It's all baloney. This is pretty interesting here. This is she tells Kim Iverson. Kim Iverson basically says, "Well, what are we supposed to do?" And this is the only thing you can do, I guess.
I'm not saying anything that's not true. The proof is in the pudding, and it's just the reality. You can't vote your way out of this. You can't vote your way out of it. The people are going to have to refuse to support the political industrial complex. That's the only way you can tear it down.
When everyone decides to stop participating in that system and finally burns it to the ground, that's when it'll be time to fight. That is when it'll be time for everyone to go to the battlefield and say, no, we will not tolerate this anymore. The system has failed everyone, both sides. I don't care if you're a Democrat voter, Republican voter, independent, it's failing everyone. But when we finally, as the American people, get to that point, oh yeah, I'll get engaged. I would get engaged in the biggest way I possibly could, but I don't see that happening. It's not happening. And until it does, guess what? I've decided, you know what? I've got to put some time back in my own family, into my own self. And I'm waiting for the American people. I really am.
She's waiting for a new American people. He asked her, An0maly right there asked her, like, well, what are you doing? You're out, you're still talking. She's like, yeah, I'm still talking about it. I couldn't get anything done there. There's too many, the swamp, it's too many. But she's saying, like, everybody has to figure this out at some point. Just don't vote for anybody. Just nobody vote. I mean, it's never going to happen because people believe all this crap. But I mean, if tons of people got together, I mean, figure this out. Somebody, maybe somebody broke through to somebody, and we just didn't vote. That's the only way to break it down. Make that not count anymore. Start a new system. Start something. But it's and she just said, I'm just sitting on the sidelines. I'll get back in there, but I'm waiting for a new type of American people. And we're not American. We're all divided here. Some way, this and that. We're this, we're that. Nobody's American. So guess what? You're going to listen. You're going to hear what you want, and just take that. And you got to stop. I do too. It's not easy. I get everybody. Take a second of all the stuff and just sit back when something's getting you and bothering you about the left if you're on the person on the right, or it's bothering you on the right if you're a person on the left. You got to say something like, hold on. This is all part of the plan here. It's all bullcrap. What am I doing? And if you say, oh, what am I going to do? Just sit back? Then the other side's going to run away with it. Well, I mean, everybody's got to come together and not vote for these people anymore. That's it. They're not doing what you want. And that's the only answer. I don't want to hear nothing else. It's all full of shit. Nobody does nothing for you. They don't care about you. And usually the ones where everyone talks crap about that they hate, those are the good ones. And that's how Trump started. I mean, that's how he did. That's why she got into politics. He said, it was Trump that, like, I like what he said. I'm the swamp. Get rid of these people. Get rid of this. And then she even said, and again, I don't know if I played one of the clips, but she said that when they get in there, they just become the swamp. They can't help it. It's just, they want to be part of this, and there's probably a reason why they go in there. You know, regular people like us don't, because we don't have the money to do it. She owns a very successful construction company, so she had her own money to run, but most of us don't. So we have to wait around for people like this to get in there, and they only do about 2 to 4 years, and then they get out because they get them, they get rid of them.
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment on anything you like or didn't like.